Yo, what's good my fellow deadheads? Your overlord has returned with yet another JJK Phantom Parade video. Today, we are going to be talking about the actual SP buffs that released for the characters that they just announced recently, because I did make a video just kind of touching on the fact that they did announce a release of the SP update for Blue Yuji, for Blue Kamo, and then for Yellow Junpei, but I did not actually get to go in and see exactly what the characters did, and I was just on the wiki and realized that none of the stuff is actually on the wiki just yet. So we actually did a little digging in the Discord, and we actually found how their kits were changed from their SP buffs. So we're going to go ahead and cover those changes from the Discord. I will not be putting any information up from the Discord though, because they specifically have been making notices about people showing leaks and anything like that. And I know that information that is already released into the game is not a leak or anything of that nature. But at the end of the day, just in case I run into something randomly by accident while I'm scrolling through the Discord, then we will leave this video right here on the wiki page. But if you guys do enjoy videos like this where I do go over characters and their SP buffs, you can definitely go down below. You can smack the like button, you can hit the subscribe, you can hit the notification bell, and you can also hit the comments down below and let me know, what do you think about these characters? Do you think that they turned out actually pretty good, or do you think they're pretty bad, or are you a big Kamo fan or whatever? But without further ado, let's go ahead and just get right into the video. So guys, it seems like here a few of the things that have changed are, one, his auto skill. So this skill right here, or this isn't even an auto skill, it's not actually moved to the auto skill slot, but it practically is his auto skill, right? So I don't really know why they had auto skills and characteristics as two separate individual things. They kind of seem like the same thing at this point, and you notice a lot of the characters, they do actually move the characteristic to the auto skill eventually. But now we can see his auto skill flowing red scale state has changed. At the start of battle, activates flowing red scale state for 6 turns, and he cannot activate flowing red scale state for 5 turns. So now it seems like instead of you trying to work in doing his flowing red scale, he just starts off with flowing red scale. So I don't know that they took away the part of his passive where he loses, or he takes extra damage, increases his own damage received, yeah, whenever in flowing red scale. It just doesn't say that anymore. So is it safe to assume that he's actually not receiving extra damage anymore when he's in flowing red scale? Flowing red scale just starts from the start of the battle, and then you can work off of the flowing red scale a little bit better, and then you can even reinitiate flowing red scale later on in the battle, because he does have a skill that does activate the flowing red scale. So that's actually pretty good. And honestly, I did a quick little read, a little gloss over these skills before I even came to record the video, just to kind of get an idea of what I was talking about beforehand. And honestly, yeah, I missed that one part. Just that one part kind of turns my perspective on his SP buff around a little bit, but even still, it's not gonna be like a night and day difference. I mean, you activate flowing red scale first turn, or maybe it could be night and day, I don't know. I gotta see it in game. We gotta wait for it to get to global, because I know I don't play JP. But that is his auto skill change. Then his skill 2 and his skill 3 have changed. So his skill 2 used to be activates flowing red scale state for 5 turns, increases own damage dealt special by 10% for 5 turns, increases own jujutsu stat by 38% for 5 turns, recovers own cursed energy by 5 every 5, recovers own cursed energy by 5 every turn for 5 turns. There we go. And then flowing red scale and special statuses cannot be stacked. And then increases own damage dealt by 5% for 5 turns, increases own jujutsu stat by 10% for 5 turns, and then decreases own damage received by 5% for 5 turns. So these little buffs right here are very menial. 5%, 10%, 5% is not really much, but even still, just the amount of buffs he's given himself is pretty crazy. I would like to see them implement a form of like amplify from like Grand Cross in this game, right, where you can get extra damage per buff you have on yourself, because they already do things kind of similar to that, where it's like, oh, you get extra damage for having this category of character on your team. They already do stuff like that. So it'd be really cool if they started working at something like amplify, or something. They have another thing that's like, oh, just because you have this much cursed energy, this does this much extra damage. You see what I'm saying? But then when flowing red scale deactivates, increases own damage received by 10% for 6 turns, can be canceled by activating flowing red scale state again. Okay, so let's see what this improved to. That was a lot to pick up on. Let's see what this improved to. So activates flowing red scale state for 6 turns, but it has a 5-turn cooldown. So now you can do this stays for 1 extra turn, but it has a 5-turn cooldown. Keep in mind. Okay, flowing red scale state effect. Cannot be stacked. Effect can be increased with more cursed energy. Maximum effect at 60 cursed energy. So what I'm guessing is the buffs, yes, the buffs on all of these skills are now going to be scaling off of how much cursed energy Kamo has, and they're going to have greater effects depending on if his cursed energy is maxed out or not. So yeah, literally just rereading this and just having an initial idea of what I was looking for is just giving me such a better understanding of how this man Kamo is actually looking now. Let's see. So now his effects are going to be, and this is from base. This is from like 0 cursed energy, I guess, or you couldn't do it with 0 cursed energy. This is from 15 cursed energy, I guess, to 60 cursed energy when you do this skill. Now, you increase your own damage dealt by 40% up to 50%. So then you increase your own taijutsu stat and jujutsu stat by 80% up to 100%. Oh, that's insane. Decrease own damage received by 25% up to 35%. Oh, dude, that's this right here. So this went up from 5% to 25 or 35%. So not only have they improved the base levels at which these buffs are coming at you, but they also have increased the ceiling for these buffs as well. Recovers on cursed energy by 5. It doesn't say for 5 turns anymore, or actually the entire flowing red scale state is all of these things. So it is for 6 turns now instead of 5 turns. So even that has been buffed. Goodness. Then increases own ultimate gauge charge rate by 15%. Wow, that is quite the improvement, I would say. So the jujutsu stat and taijutsu stat got mixed all together into one thing right here. Then and it's much higher than before. Wow, that skill is night and day. The buff is just so much more powerful on this skill, especially if you're saving up your cursed energy and then just saving up for a really big turn, or if you have somebody like Kaito on the team. Man, yeah, this Kamo is way better actually than he was before, and damn, that's pretty insane. That's pretty exciting though. It's good to see that they are making, because I looked at Yuji, I looked at Kamo, and I looked at Junpei. All their stuff is literally all right here, side by side, or I guess on top of each other. And I was literally looking and I was like, damn, Kamo's probably the worst one out of all 3 of these guys. And like, I'm gonna read back through them and look back through Yuji's, because Yuji's was chopped up in a way that I really couldn't understand that well. But I'm gonna try to look back through Yuji's and make better sense of it. But I'm thinking that right now it's looking like Junpei, Yuji, then Kamo. But even though Kamo is looking like the worst one, he still looks quite impressive actually. Let's go ahead and look through the skill 3. I don't want to hold you guys up forever. Deals 201.8% range jujutsu damage to the selected enemy. If flowing red scale state is activated, change the skill effect to deals 270% range jujutsu to all enemies. Okay, so that's pretty solid. Pretty good, just because it is a single target, but it can turn into an AoE and you help you spread damage out instead. I do always take pride in characters who have AoEs by some means, some way, shape, or method. Okay, his skill 3 is now, at base, deals 280% range jujutsu damage to all enemies. So at base, not only did they make it higher damage than when you have the flowing red scale effect, but they also just made it a ranged attack at base, which is, I think, the first time maybe they've ever done that, which is crazy. And then let's see, increases all blue type taijutsu and blue type jujutsu damage received by 20% for 4 turns. So he now does have a debuff on enemies with this skill, and since it's an AoE skill, it is always going to hit all of the enemies and give them all that debuff. And then if you have the flowing red scale effect, it increases the enemy's damage received by an additional 30% for 4 turns. So it would be 50% damage received on enemies versus just 30%. So Kamo actually seems kind of busted. I'm not gonna lie. He doesn't seem like it's gonna be night and day. This completely revolutionized, saved his character, but like, damn, he's a lot more useful than he was before, and I definitely appreciate it. I definitely respect the hustle. Again, when I was reading this before, I don't know how I was like missing all this extra stuff. This skill didn't look like it improved as much as it did. Plus, I was like half awake I was half awake when I was looking over these skills, and I wasn't even looking over these skills for this video. I was looking over these skills for a different video. So you could imagine, with a lot more things going on in that video, I was paying, I guess, a little less attention to each individual character and giving them the care that they needed, the reading that they needed. But no, Kamo actually looks pretty busted. He has a pretty solid SP buff, if I do say so myself. But guys, again, that is going to be it for the video. If you do like these videos where I go over the SP buffs and talk about how characters are improved, or how are they getting worse, or how these SP buffs are sometimes wasted opportunities, then definitely go down below, leave a like on the video, also hit the subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can get notified every single time the dead man decides to glide. Then you can also comment down below, let me know, what do you think about Kamo's SP buffs? I think Kamo, if I had to give him a rating out of 10, or I'm not going to give his character itself a rating out of 10, because there's still better debuffers in the game, probably. There's still better DPS in the game, definitely, right? But if I'd say, like, SP buff giving him improvement, because you got to think, now he comes into the battle starting off with Flowing Red Scale State, which allows you to more wiggle room to mess around with your skills a little bit more. His skill 3 has been turned into an indefinite debuff that makes him a better, just a better debuffer in general. And also his skill 2's buff, like, just, yeah, his skill 2 buff is just insane. Like, this skill is just so much more powerful now. So that's going to be it for the video. Hope you guys did enjoy. The dead man does love you. Peace out.